Hey folks, what's going on? It's Cowboy Mike at you again. I know it's been a minute since I put a video out. Been working, like a lot of you guys, working hard, trying to get ahead. Um, I just want to start by saying, thank you to all of the cowboys and cowgirls who help support me and believe in what I'm doing over the years, over the almost 5 years that I've been here now. Those people know who they are. Um, there seems to be a lot of more of a rift, okay? I'd like to call it in the families. And when I say that, I mean in all of the cowboy families, clubs included. We seem to be more focused on what each other are doing other than on these guys right here, and keeping it all about, horsemanship, and in helping the brothers and sisters along the way. That's what the cowboys of old did, that's what the black cowboys did. We helped each other. Back when we didn't have any money, it was all about a barter system. You do something for me, I can do something for you, and we can grow together. So in saying that, let's get back to that. That's what's real about the equine world to me. I've been cowboying almost 40 years now. Today is my birthday. I'm 49. So when I was 9 years old, basically, I started playing around with horses. Didn't know what I was doing, but I started at a very young age. And then, of course, a few years later, I was introduced to what I consider one of the greatest cowboys of all time, and that's old Joe Staten. Another one was Kenny Williams, taught me the rodeo game. But listen, I've had a lot of bad luck here with horses. As most of you know, I had to bury my 2-year-old last year. He got caught up in some wire and messed him up pretty bad, old Remy. And then I had to bury my best friend, okay, old Quick, and all of you all know that he's gone. And I really miss him because he was such a good horse. They say that if you are lucky in your lifetime, you'll get one horse that fits your character, who you are. I've had a lot of good horses over the years, a lot of really good horses that I rodeoed with, that I ran barrels, local barrel racing, and all of that stuff, dynamic athletes, but none quite like Quick. If I'm blessed, I might find another one, maybe one day. But at any rate, what we have here is a yearling filly. Her name is Rhea, okay? And all of those of you who know Miss Q knows that she's always got a nose in some book reading some novel, so she came up with the name Rhea. And Rhea was one of the Greek goddesses that ruled with Kronos over the Titans, for those that believe in Greek mythology. I don't, but it's such a cool name, so that's how she got her name. Now, Rhea is, of course, cowbred. Most of those that know me know that if the horse is going to be mine, it's going to be a working class horse, usually with a little running on it, maybe, but mostly working. Because when you get the athlete that can work, has speed, and has the ability to get into corners and get out of those corners, you really got yourself something. The only way that you can get those athletes to do that and understand that, one half of it is already bred in them, the other half is showing them the way, showing them the right way. And we do all of that by, like I've said many times, starting on the ground. Okay, this baby has been with me now for about a month and a half. Okay, and she's a year and I want to say 2 months. She was April 3rd is her birthday. So we're starting on the ground with her, and I haven't done a whole lot, with her. Just been playing around with her. She still don't know a whole lot. We did a little bit of lunging, a little bit of backing, but she's very smart, and that's what you guys are gonna want. You're gonna want to get a horse that's smart. Looks are par for the course. I've had ugly horses that outwork pretty horses all day long in the past. Pretty is pretty does. Now, that's a plus if you got a good-looking horse, but don't look for that, guys. Look for that horse is really going to take care of you guys. Okay? So with Rhea, she's a calm little mare. She's she comes off of a bloodline called Zanpar Bar. Okay? Miss Carol Rose out in Texas owned Zanpar Bar many years ago. His father was a great running horse. Most of those who are into the racing game may know him as Zantanen. Okay, um, there were two horses that were great back then. You know, you're talking 1940s, 1930s. Two great horses. One of them everybody knows, which was the War Admiral, okay, or Man of War, and the other one was Zantanen, okay, and great little horse, and he started putting out little horses that had the ability to run and work, okay. So what we're gonna do now, guys, basically, I'm gonna show you from the very beginning how I start colts. Um, we start with just resistance-free training. You kind of keep that in your mind. Don't force your horses. Don't make them want to do it. Don't force your horses to do anything, because again, the more you apply pressure without giving the reward, which is taking the pressure away, the more the horse is gonna resort to reaction. You know, they're reaction type animals. They're gonna use the right side of their brain. They're gonna want to flee and get away from you. You know, and right now Rhea sees something over here. We got some of my folks walking up with a horse, so she's always wary and paying attention. But so we're not gonna let her get impatient. We just kind of try to get her attention and make her focus on us. So what we want to do is we want to start by just a little forward motion. Now this baby's pretty smart, so she already has an idea. You don't have to prompt her a whole lot, but she has an idea of what forward motion is. Again, she's paying attention to what's going on over there. I got my my little buddy bringing her horse in, so Rhea's wanting to see what's going on over there. So we're going to keep her pushing. Anytime you're in the arenas with your horses and they start to look out of the arena or out of the round pen, you push them right there. Push them. Get their attention. Make them work, you know? That way they stay focused on you. If they stay focused on you in here, again, they'll stay focused on you out there when you're riding. We're going to get her going. The baby's almost past her right now, so, you know, we're not going to push her hard, and we're going to try to, you know, we don't want her to stop. We're going to try to get her lunging on a loose line. That's my objective today, just lunging loosely, moving forward, getting good forward motion. So she's slowing down, she's paying attention to what's going on. She sees the horse leaving her. Most horses don't like when a horse leaves them because they want to be a part of the pack. Instinctively, they want, you know, they're herd animals, so they want to do that at all times. We got her going. The horse is almost out of sight. She slows down when she gets to a point where she can see that horse, you know, so we're going to speed her up right there. I'll prompt her. I'm not going to push her too hard. You guys see I'm not really using the whip end of my foot. There she is there. So once she starts doing that, we're going to get her going. If she gets an attitude, we're going to push her harder. I can extend my whip out now because she's not paying attention. So I'm going to get her moving, get her mind focused on me, and then go back to taking some of the pressure away. She's pulling a little bit, but she don't know nothing. Remember, she's a baby. Take your time with the baby. Take your time. You got all the time in the world. If you rush him, you're going to create a problem. You know? So all we want is good fluid forward motion. That's what we're looking for. And once she starts doing that, we'll just give her subtle prompts. Subtle prompts to just keep moving forward. The horse is out of sight. She can see a couple of horses over there in the far, but nothing close enough to distract her. Okay? Remember, when you're in here, when you're working with your horses, give them little clucks and little cues for whatever forward motion or whatever you want them to do. You know, just don't go with that cowboy ee-yaw crap. You know, just cluck to them. I cluck to my horses all the time. This baby right here is, she's only a year old, and she's about 750 pounds. She's a powerful little filly. Very, very strong. You know, if I sat here and had a tug of war with her, she'd wear me out in this arena. But I have tools that can get her attention, to slow her down, to get her doing what I want her to do. Okay? So we got her going in a nice little trot. If your horse wants to stop and take a poop, don't let him. Keep him moving. bit of forward motion is what you want. That way they're not hesitant whenever you're in the saddle. Whenever you squeeze, they won't hesitate to move forward, because forward is one of the most natural, or the most natural moves that they have. Okay? And let the horse talk to you. There's certain things that you need to be looking for. When they start dropping their head a little bit like that, they're kind of like listening. She's got one ear cocked to me. I don't want her to walk, I want her to keep trotting. You know, she's dropping her head a little bit. Once she starts getting that lazy eye and licking her and chewing her lips, you know she's listening. At this point, she probably won't lick and chew her lips, but when she does, we'll focus on that and I'll let you see what I mean. And I'll tell you why you're looking for that. Okay, we're gonna stop her right here. Now, whoa. No pulling on your horse or anything. She walks right up. In about 2 weeks, I had her, whoa, stop, face me, and walk forward. Give her her reward, which is what she's looking for. Nice little pat. Don't go overboard with it. Get her going the other way. This little baby's kind of smart, so basically all you got to do is just hold your hand up. There you go. Little flies out here aggravating her. There you go. Go ahead and get that off. I'll let you get that off. You know, I spray it now, you know, but the doggone horse flies there, they're pretty tough. She's getting a little aggravated right there. She's pushing a little too hard. I'm not pushing her, she's pushing herself, but I don't want her to push herself because I don't want to teach her to push and jump through a hole whenever she wants to. Okay? So, we're going to get her going. Now give her a nice little tug to slow her down, stay in that trot. There's not a whole lot of action going on in here, so just a nice little trot and keep going. Now again, she is a baby, okay? So her attention span is short. So you only really have about 15 or 20 minutes when you're working with these babies to get them to do what you want to do. And what she's doing right now, I'll accept that because it's good forward motion. It's not like she's trying to back up, she's not trying to pause, she's not bucking and kicking, and she's not acting silly. She's just young. So her attention span is gonna go away here after a while. Okay, and the older they get, the longer their attention span. You know, you want to slow right there. You don't want to go too fast. Give her a nice little tug. Run. And when I roll this baby, I'm gonna be looking for her lips. She's tight-lipped right now, which is okay. But once she starts to break a little sweat, we'll get her licking her lips. And again, I'll tell you why in a second. All right. Now some of this stuff, you're gonna have to do a little working. A lot of people, they lunge their horses and they run them around in a round pen and they don't understand why. The reason why we use round pens, or what it was designed for, is not only to, you know, back in the day it was just about bronking horses out and bucking horses out. Well, those days are gone. If a horse does buck when you decide to put the saddle on him, that's a natural move, let him buck. If a horse decides to make the decision to buck, when you get on him for the first time, hold on and let him buck. The only time I really get after a horse if they try to stand up. That's the worst thing a horse can do under my command. Because I've seen it too many times. If a horse stands up, he'll flip over. If you let it go a few times, you're setting yourself up for a bad situation, and that's not what you want. You want to stay safe. The safer you stay on these horses, the longer you can ride. You know, like I said, I've been riding for a long time, and knock on wood, haven't had any broken bones. I've been bruised up pretty good, but no broken bones, no bad situations. In that time, I've learned a lot of different techniques, how to hold on, how to stay on a saddle, you know, how to sit in the saddle, you know. But the only way we get a horse to really work good so you can sit in that saddle comfortably is you start here, okay? Now I'm gonna let this baby stop here, right here in front of the camera. Now, whoa, whoa, good girl. She's licking and chewing. I don't know if you can see that. You see her licking and chewing her mouth? And what she's doing is that she's humbling down. Once they start licking and chewing, they're really, really listening. If you tell your horse to whoa, stop, or whatever, and you walk off and they walk with you, you know, no pulling on that baby, but I can turn anywhere and that baby follows me. That means that, you know, I've lunged her enough to get her attention, respecting this round pen. I get humility in the round pen, the baby. You know, she knows I'm the leader, so she'll follow me. Whoa. Okay, so that's good right there. All right, that's what you want, okay? Start there. In that same note, on that same note, backing your horse, forward motion and backing is the first two things that I teach a horse. A lot of people, they want to teach their horse how to lunge and lateral flexion and all that bending and everything. I do a lot of that, but I don't do it first. First thing I want is forward motion. Second thing I want, the second lesson, I want the baby to be able to back up. If you can't back your baby up, you're in trouble. If you can't stop and back that baby up, you're in trouble. If you can't stop and back her up as an adult, you're in trouble because she's very, very powerful. Don't underestimate the power of these horses. Most cowboys and cowgirls who have had the misfortune of being thrown or jerked from a saddle because the horse was so quick, understand exactly what I'm talking about. I'm one of those cowboys, you know? It's happened to me quite a few times. But after a few times, it's like, okay, I need to change up my technique. You know, I need to find out how do I hold on better than that? How do I sit my saddle? So I need to seek somebody out who can tell me that, who can teach me that. I don't care where you guys get your lessons from. It's not necessarily, I don't put videos out so everybody can come to Cowboy Mike. That's not my purpose here. My purpose is to help as many horses and people as I can. I don't know no other way. I've been doing it so long. But get the lesson. As long as you get the lesson, that's what's most important, okay? And get it the right way, you know? That's what you want to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this old rope halter, and I suggest you guys always use a rope halter when you start these babies. It has the big knots on either side of your face, so it applies pressure. It's got the hard nose band on it, so it applies pressure, you know? So whenever you pull back on that baby, you tap on that baby should back up. If that baby is hesitant to back up, you can take your whip there, your training stick, and tap that baby right in the fold of her forearm right there. Just tap that baby and pull down at the same time. And tell her back, 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 back. Cluck to her, tell her back. Bring her back up. She did very well. So I'm going to bring her back up. Whoa. And I'm going to congratulate that baby. I'm going to let that baby know that that's exactly what I want. Okay, so we're going to switch hands here and then back that baby up. She's pretty smart. She already knows what's coming, you know, so that baby's backing up pretty good, you know. And here. I don't want to pull her. I want her to come to me willingly. If she comes to me willingly and works willingly around me, I'll never have to fight her when I get her outside. Now, Wolf, good girl. Go ahead and give her that reward. I want a little bit more aggressive back up. Whoa. Now, the more you do that, what happens is that you're not going to have to pull on the horse. You can extend your whip out, okay? And you can back your baby just like this with no pressure, okay? So your body creates the pressure. Here you go. Back up, back, 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 back. If she's hesitant, tap her. Back. Horsemanship is everything, guys. It is the creme de la creme, as they say. Okay, so without it, you're not doing a whole lot. You're just basically trying to hold on. I put these videos out again so you guys can stay safe. For those that want to listen, you can stay safe. Myself and many others like me, we have been banged up pretty good over the years by these horses, and we've learned another way. I offer that to you guys freely. It's no charge. I can't charge for something that was freely given to me, you know, so accept the information and move on. Don't take my word for it. Study up on it. Ask people, you know, read up on books. Do things to make yourself a better horse person. You know what I'm saying? And it'll help you out a whole lot. And what's going to happen, the more you do that, people will start coming to you and they'll start asking you questions. Well, man, how do you get your horse to do that? My horse is bucking. How do I get my horse to stop? My horse will bite. How do I get my horse to stop? And if you can give them the right information because you've already had enough experience and you've done it enough to know what techniques works, give it to them. You know, the only time you need to charge anybody for that work is if they come and bring their horse to you. Unfortunately, I can't do it for free. So if you bring your horse to me, I have to charge for that. But a lot of people are in an uproar with me about that because of my price. My price is a little bit more inexpensive than the big professionals because I don't see $700 a month to train a baby to do something that I can get them to do instantly. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not that big of a deal to me. You know, so basically what we want to do is we want to ride safe. You know, we want to be able to get to a point where we can ride safe, and all of this work is all about riding safe. Now what I'm going to do here, and we're going to stop that video here in a second, is I'm going to get this baby and throw that rope around that baby. Desensitize that baby. Now that baby's going to move a little bit because we haven't done this a whole lot. So she don't understand a whole lot, but as long as I don't apply a whole lot of pressure, she'll understand what I'm trying to get and she'll relax. I just want to desensitize that baby. That's all my objective is. My objective is to desensitize that baby. And I'm not going to let that baby move around a whole lot. I'm going to throw that rope up there and let it rest. I'm going to throw that rope up there and let it rest. And if that baby wants to pull back, I'm going to tell that baby, whoa, you know. I'm going to throw that rope up there again. And slow her down. I don't want her moving when I do it. Don't try to throw the rope at the baby when she's already in reaction mode. She's already trying to move away. Don't throw the rope at her because then it's a predator. She don't understand it. It's something that's going to get her, something as simple as a rope. You know, so what we're going to do, we're going to let that rope sit up there. We're going to let that rope sit up there. I'm not going to take the rope all the way off. I'm going to throw the slack up there. I'm going to make that baby stand to me. Keep her head to me. There you go. Good girl. I'm going to go ahead and do that again. And after a while, that baby will see that it's not something that's going to get him. It actually feels pretty slick, you know, coming across her back right there. It's not going to get her. It's not going to bite her, you know. So we're going to get that baby doing that again. We're going to do that again. We're going to do that 1,000 times until that baby can understand it. That's not something that's a bad thing. It's not going to get me, you know. So horses are, again, cowards by nature. They're always wary of things that are going to get them. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we desensitize these babies, you know, and get these babies where they're not moving around a lot. That's what I want. As long as she stands there, I never forget to give her her reward. She has the habit, you know. She did the right thing. This lets her know that you did the right thing, baby, by standing still. That's all I want. I don't want a whole lot. I'm not asking you to assassinate the president, you know. I'm just wanting you to stand still for a minute, okay? And the reason why is because the more desensitized the horses are, when you're out and about and the horses see things that they don't understand, they won't be too spooky about it. Because in here, it's plastic bags, it's tarps, there's drums, there's all kinds of stuff that they're going to encounter, you know. So it's not going to be something that's going to be foreign to them when they see it. They're going to understand it. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what that is. So we're going to throw that old rope up there. Don't let that baby come back up. Back up. Back. Back. There you go. She took a couple of steps. I'll take that. As you see, she's pretty smart little baby. She ain't jumping around a whole lot. So I don't want her to jerk on me like that and nudge me, because the more you do that, you start letting your horses nudge you, they're going to size you up and fill you up. If you don't respond to them immediately, you know, they're going to get higher on the pecking order in their mind. Okay? So here we go. Now, whoa. Whoa. I'm going to grab that baby's tail. I'm going to pull that baby's hair around. If that baby wants to walk, I'm going to walk with that baby. Okay? This is how I get the babies to learn how to bend. It may take some doing. You may not get it the first couple of times, but you stay at it. Don't stop. Whoa. You talk to your baby. Whoa. Pull that baby's head around. She's getting aggravated because she's young, so we're going to stop her on a good note here. Whoa.
all about all a part of the work. It takes some doing. As soon as that baby yields to me without moving her feet, I'll accept it. There it is. A lot of it's subtle. If it's very subtle, if it's exaggerated, the better. If it's subtle, let her go. Give the baby the reward. Do the same thing on the other side. You know, a lot of this is about sweating it out with the horse. We're approaching midsummer. It's a beautiful 80-degree day. We got a little bit of shade over here, but still nonetheless it's warm. You know, sweat it out with that baby. There it is. Okay? It's subtle sometimes. So, folks, what you want to do is do the work. Okay? Do the work. If you have 20 or 30 minutes of your time, do the work. Spend that time working with your babies, working with your horses. If your horse has a problem, find out a technique that will work for that horse to get the problem off of them. Usually horses are bucking, biting, kicking, bolting, reacting in a bad way out of fear, because it is not in their nature to be aggressive. The only time they're aggressive is when they're so afraid they feel like their life is threatened, then they'll react. Okay? Take your time. Take your time with these horses. They're worth it. Cowboy Mike, ride safe.